Hi, I'm Roy Moore, co-owner of Ashley's here in Westland, and tonight we have as a special guest Gert Christiaens, the owner and brewer for Oud Beersel. So welcome to Michigan, Gert. Thank you. You at Oud Beersel is particularly known for its Lambic, spontaneous fermented beers.
Correct.
Actually, we have a problem in this country where Americans are thinking that they created sour beers, but it's the Belgians who have this as a national style and are very skilled at it. Give us some history first, though, of Oud Beersel.
Oud Beersel, well, Oud Beersel is a traditional Lambic brewery, but from 1882.
Okay.
During 4 generations, it was managed by the same family, actually. The brewery closed down at the end of 2002.
Okay.
I found out that out in a bar in 2003 when I was drinking my favorite beer, the Oud Gueuze of Oud Beersel.
Okay.
The owner told me, look Gert, these are the last bottles. Next time you'll come, you won't have any anymore because the brewery closed down. So I started calling the brewery, said what's going on, wanted to help out, and actually found myself in working with the old brewmaster to take over his knowledge because he was 77 years old. So at 77 years old, he was not going to start up the brewery anymore, and I followed brewing course. And in 2005, we launched the brewery again with the Versalis Triple to launch the traditional Lambic beers in 2007 again.
Okay, so we're now bringing this. This is one of your signature beers, Oud Beersel gueuze. We've had some before, but frankly, from prior distributors or prior importers. Tell us some of the history of this beer. Why were you always drinking it as your favorite beer?
Well, I live in Brussels, and Lambic beers are made in Brussels and the southwest of Brussels, in that area. We're unique in the world. There were only 10 breweries left, 10 Lambic breweries left when Oud Beersel closed down. You have to know that we had like 300-400 of these breweries before. So, I mean, for me, the whole culture was disappearing, all these beers were disappearing. You didn't find any bars in Brussels anymore where you could drink the beer. Now, the world has changed. You see that people start liking these beers again. They're really cherishing these beers. So, I mean, that's very positive for the world.
And it's even more restrictive than like Champagne coming from the Champagne region. Only traditional lambics are being brewed out of Belgium. They are using the wild yeast in the air to ferment the...
And we are using spontaneous fermentation, and spontaneous fermentation contains, for example, lactic fermentation, but it contains fermentation by regular yeast strains for beer. And we use wild fermentation, but that's also the natural wild fermentation, because we do not add anything to the wort for fermentation. Wild fermentation can happen by inoculating the beer with wild ferments. We do not inoculate the beer, it's the air outside that while cooling down the wort,
the natural...
it's completely natural without intervention of a brewer or a you.
What is that exposed by? For 24 hours to the air or a little longer? How long
Overnight. It cools down, and in the morning you can put it on the wooden barrels, and a couple of days later on it starts fermenting.
And yet you really won't know for a while did the right yeast or the right flavors develop inside that barrel.
I mean, the beer stays on the wooden barrels between 1 and 3 years. You have to taste the wooden barrels, see what you're going to blend, see what you're going to use, see what you will keep for a couple of more years, what is going to evolve very nicely, and then match the perfect blend for 1, 2 and 3 year old Lambic to put it on bottle.
To make this bottle of gueuze, you're actually blending different ages of gueuze or lambic to make this gueuze.
Yes, and then it has a spontaneous re-fermentation of bottle.
In the bottle, so it is bottle conditioned as well. That's something else that Americans aren't fully familiar with, that these, like fine wines, continue to age and develop.
Yes, we put a date, validity date of them, expiry date of 20 years. They evolve very nicely. Of course, you have to treat them like the wine as well.
Yeah, they have to be stored.
So,
we serve.
A gueuze, we always serve it without the yeast in the bottle.
Right.
And gueuze doesn't make a lot of head, so you have to serve it in a special way. You serve it like this, you turn around the glass, so you wetten actually the glass from the inside, and when you serve the gueuze, the head is attaching itself to the beer that is already attached to the glass. And then you have a very nice head. And you see, when I serve the bottle, I didn't put it up straight anymore. I just kept it like that because then you have less yeast that is coming in the beer. So we can enjoy a clear gueuze. Cheers.
Cheers. Salute. Thank you.
Cheers.